In today's video, I want to go over how I get random leads, random DMs, and turn these DMs and leads into clients, and these clients close into closed commissions that I end up getting on a daily basis. Now, with traditional real estate, a lot of people go with door knocking, cold calling, a lot of these different ways to get leads. But in 2026, you can reach thousands of people just by the press of a button on your phone, on lots of different social media apps, whether that's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is. There are a lot of different platforms that you can use to reach thousands, if not millions of people just by recording a video, giving some gems, talking about yourself, showing a deal. And this brings in tons of clients. Now, my business is pretty much 80% social media, 20% referrals. I get a lot of referrals, but a lot of people reach out to me literally daily on social medias. I have multiple different platforms that you all are watching me on YouTube. I have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I get at least 100 leads a day by using all these different platforms. And I'm able to turn most of these leads, DMs, into clients, and turn some of those clients into closed deals. That way bringing me a lot of revenue coming in daily basis. Now, how exactly do I get the leads coming in? What are some ways that I use? Now, in this video, I am going to give a brief breakdown on the process, but I will be doing more screen recording videos so you see exactly the process step by step, as well as you can check out the Rich Off Apartments program as I give you all literally the breakdown of everything for how to run ads, how to get leads, how to close deals, literally the whole nine. If you want to check that out, you definitely can. The link will be in the bio. But moving forward with posting on Instagram and social medias, now there are different type of videos that you can do. You can give some type of educational tips, talking about the rental process, the apartment process, how exactly you can get specials, how you can lower your rent. Just go out there and give them some type of gems, or you can go out there and do show deals. It's a special here in downtown Houston. It's a high rise going for about 1,400. That is a great deal. You posting something like that will give you tons of traction, a lot of views on your page. So a lot of people are going to be DMing you, following you, and liking your post that you do not even know. And this is exactly what you want, because you want to get in the algorithm for Instagram knowing you as being in this type of industry, that where they're going to push your content out there more. And once you have a video that's already performing well, just a better chance that it's going to get pushed out even further, as well as people reaching out and DM you. And those are people becoming clients. And that's how you're going to close some of these people. So where they come from, different social media platforms or referrals is another way that you can get people. Once you start closing people, or people that know you, they just start referring to you, hey, such and such is a realtor. He's actually very helpful. He helped me out find my place. You should definitely hit him up. That is another way that you are going to get referrals. Now, when you begin to get these leads, these deals, what is the first step that you should be doing? So you want to get a understanding and idea of what exactly that client is looking for. You want to make sure that you understand that to the best of your ability. So me personally, I like to call people. I like to get their number as fast as I can. So I like to give them a call, ask certain questions. Hey, what's your moving date? What time frame are you looking to move in? What area are you looking to move in? What price range, number of beds, email address, just a lot of criteria that I can get. That way, when I'm sending them options and making a list, I'm sending them apartments, rentals, and homes that fit their exact criteria and preference. I see a lot of agents, especially newer agents, when they start off, they just want to send, the best options that you believe are the best options, but these aren't properties that really fit your client's preference. So they kind of feel in a way that you're not really listening, that you're too salesy, that you don't care, and that person is not going to end up working with you because you're not sending them what they need. But if you upfront, you ask the correct questions, you get them on the phone, go back and forth, making sure that they understand and they feel like you have an exact understanding and care within your job to do the best in your ability. That's another reason I like to be on the phone, because text messages can be taken differently sometimes, but I'm gonna go over that in another video. So you just want to make sure you ask all the correct questions. You have an understanding of what exactly your client is looking for before you do go out and send them a list. Now, when it comes with sending the list, this definitely is something that is not just choosing random apartments. Again, you are using that criteria, but even with that, there is certain steps. Um, as far as checking the exact rates, making sure the rates are available, make sure that unit is available, making sure which specials they have, making sure that your client has any certain preferences. You're able to look throughout the floor plans on the community's website and verify, okay, this does have a walk-in shower. Okay, they do have EV chargers. You just want to make sure that when you send this list, it is actually as precise as possible to what they're looking for, because there are thousands of apartments, if not millions of apartments around the world, and in your city, there's probably hundreds of thousands that you can choose from. So you just want to make sure that you're double checking everything before you're sending it. Again, I will go more into this in detail in the screen recording on this exact topic, because it is something that is very critical, because you can get a lot of leads, but if you're not sending them an accurate list, if you're not doing things in a professional, what's the word I'm looking for? A more professional and efficient manner, then you're most likely not going to close that client. So keep that in mind, that lists do have to be sent a certain way, and come back to this when that video does drop. Now, after you send the list, your client lets you know the options they like. They want to set up tours to go see them. Now, should you go tour in person? Should you not? How does that go? How do you set everything up? So once your client lets you know the options that they do on the tour, you have two options. Now, depending on if if that complex is escort or send, you may have to go in person. Now, if this is your first time meeting that client, you have the availability, please go out and tour with them. Now, if it's a rental home, 90% of the time you have to go with them anyway. But for apartments, I'll say about 80% don't make you come there, but there are some that do want you to escort with them. And to escort, that is a way that you get your credit. So if they do have escort, you want to make sure that you are there. That way you are getting that credit and you are getting paid. But even if this is your first time meeting a client, or if you're a new realtor, you should be touring as much as possible. One, you want to build that rapport, and you want to understand the industry a little better, get that confidence and the reps up under you by going to tour, hearing exactly what the leasing agent is asking the client. That way, when you go to tour with your client, you have an idea of what questions to ask the leasing agent. That way you kind of come off as professional and that you're representing your client on tour. Because remember, people really don't need apartment locators. We want to make ourselves needed. They can Google this. It's 2026. People can ChatGPT the best apartments, honestly. But you want to make sure that you're going the extra mile to make sure people are feeling comfortable and confident with working with you. Also, when you are sending lists, there are different databases that you can use to send accurate lists, such as Agent Access, Smart Apartment Data, or different things out there that you can Google to use a database to send the list that the best way that you can. Now, another thing with tours, and this is very critical, I want you all to emphasize this, tattoo it in your brain if possible. Before your client goes to tour, once your client lets you know that they want to tour this property, you have to send a guest card to the community. Before your client tours an apartment, you have to send a guest card. Now, you see how I want to emphasize that for you all. Now, what exactly is a guest card? Now, a guest card is email that you will be sending to the complex, letting them know that the person that will be touring is your client and that you referred them. So it can be a PDF, or it could be just a regular email, however you want to type it out. Me personally, I just type it out with Agent Access. We have there's an AI automation that's able to send guest cards automatically. So if you can get Agent Access, I would definitely recommend that, because this is very important. So it is your client's name, their criteria, when they're looking to move in, number, all that criteria that you collected up front, as well as who you are, who the realtor is, and your brokerage as well. Just letting them know, hey, this is Sterling Wooten, located with Lux Life Locating. Below, I've included my client's info for her tour on such and such date, and then you include that info and you send that off. Now, again, this has to be sent before your client goes tour, because this is one, the proof that you sent this client to his property. Just in case, say, when they go to apply, they forget to put your name, you can use this as a backup to say, hey, I did send this client to this property, pay me my commission. Now, there may be even times where a guest card is required for some apartments as well. Even if your name is on that application, that guest card is sent, they won't pay you. So I'm saying this because there's been many times where I did not send a guest card and I missed out on money and commission. So send a guest card. If you're touring, if you're not touring, when your client says, I want to see X, Y, and Z, you send that guest card as soon as possible. Now, how exactly are you getting paid? How does the getting paid process work? Now, with apartments, they are owned, most of them are owned by big corporations. So your check does come from corporate. With that being said, it does take a little longer, around 30 to 90 days to get paid from a commission. Now, this is I would say the downside of apartment locating is how long it takes you to get paid. Especially if you're just starting out, you're probably, if you're waiting for a check for 30 to 90 days, you may still have to have another job before you're able to just go on this full time. But when it begins to add up, it adds up. So anyway, how does getting paid work? Guest card, client has to list your name on the application. Now, when your name is listed on the application, you have to invoice the community. So that's just pretty much emailing them saying, hey, I know I referred X, Y, and Z to your property. Can you please verify the information, that's your client's name, their unit number, rent amount, lease term. You want to make sure all that is confirmed before you send over an invoice. And when you send over the invoice to the complex, they're going to sign it. They're going to send it to corporate. And from there, they're going to send the invoice to your brokerage. So with the invoice, you also want to make sure you attach your W-9 as well, because that way they're going to send your check to the correct place. Now, if you're with a brokerage that focuses on locating in apartments and rentals, you shouldn't have to chase your checks. This is something that's very stressful, going out, emailing these people, following up, making sure you get paid on a timely manner. So making sure that you're with a team, you're with a locating group that focuses on locating, because they have systems in place that get your checks for you. All you have to do is submit it online. Then you go about your business. Something on the back end will be able to go out and collect your checks. That's pretty much what I have for my team. So they can just focus on getting deals and making content. I don't want anyone out there chasing money. I did that starting out, and I know how stressful it is. So make sure that you do have some type of system on making sure you're getting paid in a timely manner, because it can get stressful. Now, if you be consistent with the content, with follows up with everything, then all this will flow for you a lot simpler. Now, everything that went over in this video, I will do a more detailed video with screen recordings, with proof, and different ways that I've talked to people, that I've sent lists, and how I send lists, how I get paid, and all that, just to break it down more in detail, and that you all can actually see step by step how it goes. Again, if you just want to jump all in and you want everything, you want how to get leads, how to run ads, how to talk to people, how to close deals, then you can definitely check out Rich Off Apartments. In that program, I give you all everything from start to finish on how you can be successful and build a $7 business in this industry. So, hope you all enjoyed this video. Stay blessed by the bless. Talk to you soon.